Welcome back to the A01. Well, last time, in the last session that we met, I was trying to tell you about the importance of English language, how it is a language that is spoken by the majority of the people of the world, why English language is necessary in almost all fields of human activity. As young students, how necessary it is to become good communicators in English. I was also trying to tell you about the necessity of developing the skills of the language, namely listening to the language, speaking the language, reading the language, and writing the language. We were also trying to understand why the young students are poor communicators, because it is because of the system of education we have where there is no ample opportunities for them to speak the language. On the basis of what I said, I also try to tell you that it is with the aim of making you better communicators that English, 2 common courses in English are introduced during your first semester. And we also, if you remember, we also talked about the 3 requirements that are necessary to become effective communicators. If you remember them, it is fluency of the language, accuracy of the language, and appropriacy. Now, I would just try to write these requirements to be effective communicators. You have to have 1, fluency. Let's try to understand the word fluency. What is this fluency of the language? Well, if I ask you, what do you understand by fluency of the language? Probable response from you would be, it is something to do with flow. You are correct. It is something to do with the flow. That is, it is the ability to speak the language continuously without any unnecessary pauses. Once again, fluency of the language is the ability to speak the language continuously without any unnecessary pauses. That is requirement number 1. Requirement number 2 is accuracy. What do we understand by the word accuracy? Now, well, you know the word accurate. And if I ask you the meaning of the word, what do you understand by accuracy? You may tell me it means correctness. You are correct. Accuracy means correctness of the language. Correctness in what? It is correctness in so many things. Basically, generally speaking, accuracy in the grammar of the language, accuracy in the pronunciation of the language, accuracy in keeping the grammatic or grammatical structure of the language, keeping in tune with the correctness of the correctness of the spelling while writing the language. It is also accuracy or correctness in keeping with the norms of the accepted norms of the language. All these items are included in the accuracy of the language or correctness of the language. Why? Well, I would like to talk to you about the second item of correctness I would talk to you, that is correctness in pronunciation. It is on that we are going to concentrate in our next session. Now, why correct pronunciation? Well, pronouncing the language correctly does not mean that you and I should speak like Englishmen. No. English for you and me is a second language. It is not our mother tongue. But why correctness in pronunciation is necessary? It is because since English is a global language, when we speak English, the native speakers should be able to understand us. For them to understand us, we have to speak the language with the correct pronunciation. And that is why to be effective communicators, accuracy of the language, grammar, pronunciation, and other items, it is necessary or it is a requirement to become an effective communicator. Number third one. So accuracy is correctness of the language. Correctness in many items. Correctness in many factors. Correctness of many factors. And third one is appropriacy. APPROPRIACY. Appropriacy of the language. Appropriacy or appropriateness, whatever you call it, no problem. Appropriacy of the language. What do we understand by appropriacy of the language? Now, as the word suggests, appropriacy means the ability to speak the language, choose words, choose expressions that will be suitable to the occasion or the situation. So, the ability to use the language according to the situation is what is known as appropriacy of the language. A simple example would be the language you use in a marriage house is different from that of the language you use in a funeral house. The language you use when you speak to your principal is not the kind of language that you use when you speak to your friends. There is a difference. There is a difference in the language used, in the words chosen, etc. And an effective communicator should be able to use the language according to the situations, and that is called appropriacy of the language. So, if you want to become effective communicators in English, you should have fluency of the language, the ability to speak the language continuously without any unnecessary pauses. Number 2, correctness, accuracy or correctness of the language, correctness in grammar, correctness in pronunciation, correctness in the correct use of the sequence of sentences, etc. All these are included in accuracy. When it comes to grammar, well, how good are you in grammar? If I ask you, some of you may tell me, no sir, I find it very difficult to learn grammar or understand grammar. Well, I say that you are all good grammarians, because when I say a sentence like Francis' name my is, Francis' name my is, you will correct me and tell me that that's wrong, sir. The correct sentence should be, my name is Francis. Wonderful. You know your grammar. It is already there, registered in your mind, the correctness of grammar. So, correctness of grammar, correctness of pronunciation, it is required because when you speak English, the native speaker should be able to understand you. That is about accuracy. And number 3, appropriacy, the ability to speak the language according to the situations. I told you the language of a funeral house is different from the language you use in a marriage house. So if you have all these three requirements, if you master them, fluent in the language, accurate in the language, and you can appropriately use the language according to situation, then you become a good communicator. Now, coming to, I just tell you an example. I just tell you a situation and try to assess the responses. Try to assess the responses in terms of fluency, accuracy, and appropriacy. Suppose I start a class, and in a classroom situation, 3 students come after 10 minutes to the class. They come late. And the teacher naturally asks the question, why are you late? Why are you late? No, not that he is disturbed. The flow of the class is disturbed by people coming at the door and asking, shall we come in, sir? The teacher asks the question, why are you late? 3 of them. Let us call them Amar, Akbar, and Anthony, just for the heck of it. Amar, Akbar, Anthony. Listen to the responses of these 3 students. The question asked by the teacher was, why are you late? Amar said, rainfall, no umbrella. Rainfall, no umbrella. Akbar said, yesterday was Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we have puja at home, which goes on till 12 midnight. He didn't say anything else. He said this. Yesterday was Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we have puja at home, which goes on till 12 midnight. Anthony said, I am sorry, sir. I reached the bus stop late and I missed the bus. You heard the three responses. The first one said, rain fall, no umbrella. Second one said, yesterday was Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we have puja at home, which goes on till 12 midnight. And the third said, I'm sorry, sir, I reached the bus stop late and I missed the bus. Now, I leave it to you. On the basis of these three parameters, fluency, accuracy, and appropriacy, judge which is the best response. Is it response number 1, response number 2, or response number 3? Now, I just gave you this example in order to make you aware of how important that these 3 requirements are as far as communication is, effective communication is concerned. Now, to concentrate on the second aspect of this requirement, namely accuracy, I would like to go to pronunciation part of it. I told you, if you remember, that you are required to pronounce the language correctly, not to speak like Englishmen, but when you speak English, the native speakers should be able to understand you. To understand the correct pronunciation, I may have to go back to a statement that English is an unphonetic language and Malayalam is a phonetic language. What do you understand by these two statements? English is an unphonetic language and Malayalam is a phonetic language. Now, the answer is, I can illustrate the explanation. I can illustrate this statement to you by writing a word in Malayalam like it has 2 letters, Ka and La, and we read it as Ka and La, Kala. Let us take another word which we have learned in our first basic lesson, Ta, Ra, Tara. We write the alphabet and read it as we write it, right? And a third example would be Pa, Na, Pana. What I want to tell you is Malayalam is a phonetic language because we write and read according to the letters we use. Ka, La, Kala, Ta, Ra, Tara, and Pa, Na, Pana. And that is why Malayalam is called a phonetic language. The second statement I made is English is an unphonetic language. I may have to go back to the days when I started learning English, when I was in third or fourth standard, much later than you started learning English. Because I started learning English when I was in third or fourth standard, very late. At that time, I was very enthusiastic to learn the language, and the teacher, after teaching us the alphabets of the language, A, B, C, D, 26 of them, she started teaching us words. And the first class, she brought a picture of a very domestic animal, meow, a cat, and she wrote on the board C-A-T, cat. And as you know now, the word cat has 3 sounds in it. The first sound is k, the second sound is a, and the third sound is t, cat. And naturally, what I thought as a young boy was that in order to produce the sound k, cat, the letter of the alphabet we use is C. Okay, you agree with me? But then she brought the picture of a boy standing on a seashore and pulling something, looking up. And she wrote on the board the word K-I-T-E, kite. I was really wonderstruck because in the word cat, the letter was C used to produce the sound k. In the second word, same sound, k sound, kite, but the letter of the alphabet used was K. Now my surprise increased as she wrote the word C-H-A-R-A-C-T-E-R, and she said, this word is character. Here the first sound is k again, but it is represented by the letters C-H. My surprise increased when she wrote S-H-O-E, shoe, and she said it is shoe. And I thought S-H stands for sh sound. S-H stands for sh sound. But when she wrote S-U-G-A-R, my surprise increased because the sh sound in sugar is represented by the letter S. So, the letter and the sound different in English, and that is why English is called an unphonetic language. What to do with this unphonetic nature of the language? That's the problem. Malayalam, no problem. We write the alphabet and we read it like that. But in English, we write the alphabet and the sounds differ in different words. And that is why English is called an unphonetic nature, unphonetic language. We will do more research into this unphonetic nature of English language, by which we go to the branch of study which we are going to concentrate, namely pronunciation in English. Maybe in the next session that we will be able to go to this particular aspect of the language, requirement of the language, that is to be good at pronouncing the language. Why is it necessary? Remember the 2 statements I made. Malayalam is a phonetic language. English is an unphonetic language. Why? Malayalam is a phonetic language because there is one-to-one correspondence. One-to-one correspondence between the alphabet we write and the sound produced by it. English is an unphonetic language because there is no one-to-one correspondence between the alphabet we use and the sound produced by it. I hope you understand why is Malayalam called a phonetic language and why is English called an unphonetic language. We go for solution, that is, how to overcome this problem of English, unphonetic nature of the language. How to solve this problem? We will look at the solution of the problem in the next session we meet. Till then, keep well, good luck, bye-bye.